So there's an interesting analysis that was done around African Americans and voting, and I want to talk to you about it. I thought it was a very astonishing piece. It was done by Vox, and this is what they say. If African Americans lived longer, as long as white folks, now folks who don't know, the life expectancy rate of African Americans is a lot lower than that of our white counterparts. If you didn't know, now you know. But if we had lived a little bit longer, we would have had 1 million more votes in the 2004 election, meaning, hey, we'd have a president, we'd have, President Kerry instead of the second term of Bush. But I think more profound in this new paper, now this paper was done by a couple of researchers, and what they found, and they came to the conclusion by estimating how many of these missing black voters, how many missing black voters are there, and how close elections would be if they had swung because these folks were alive. So the black folks that died too soon, whether they died from murder, whether they died from, diabetes, heart disease, whatever they died from, if they had lived a couple years longer, if they had gotten the health care they need, or if they have gotten, live in a safe and welcoming community, it would have totally shifted this election. 2004 election, I would argue, the president would have won by bigger margins in 2008, and on and on and on and on and on. So, now let's put this all into play, because I believe in playing things out for y'all folks. You know how I do. So let's say, for example, that the reason some of these folks died simply because they didn't have access to health care, right? President Obama comes into office, his first priority is making sure that every American, black, white, yellow, blue, purple, orange, can get access to health care. Republicans vehemently blocked a plan, president's plan, to give all Americans health care. Maybe, just maybe, where there's smoke, there's fire. And maybe the Republicans saying, well, like our good friend Alan Grayson always says, the Republican strategy is die and die quickly, especially if you're a voter that votes Democrat, i.e. African American. If you're a senior citizen, if you're both, please die, and die as fast as possible so we don't have to worry about you voting against us in the next election. So we're going to stall a health care bill. Luckily, the president had enough votes to pass it through. But you get the point that I'm trying to make here. So when Republicans go out there and they say they're on this austerity, let's cut, let's trim, let's snip programs like SNAP, let's snip the programs like WIC, let's cut public education, let's close down public hospitals. Ask yourself why. Here's the why. Because if they get rid of those hospitals, they get rid of public education, they get rid of all things that allow for middle class and working class families to advance, they can completely eliminate them from the voting pool. And when they eliminate from the voting pool, they don't vote. And when they don't vote, Republicans win. Ha! Strategy works right now, doesn't it?